Hi guys, what's up? It's Joel Pitt here, back with another video, and in this video I'll be doing another review for a movie that I've seen today on Now TV. This is called Mr. Deeds. In the last video I did a review for Over the Head, which I'll leave a link to down below. Of course there's going to be spoilers, so without further ado, let's get on with it. So this video was released on the 1st of November 2002. It's got a 3-star rating on Now TV, and this is about a man called Longfellow Deeds. He's a small town pizzeria owner and a poet as well, and randomly he inherits $40 billion from his deceased uncle and quickly begins rolling in a different kind of dough. He then moves to New York and he then finds like this woman he likes, whatnot, and they end up falling in love. But I have some other stuff here as well that has happened in the story. So at the start there was mountains and snow. We see Preston Blake. There's this like big snowstorm. The others are saying, oh, we should go back, whatnot, we're not doing this. He ends up going to the top. He then sadly dies, age 82 though, but he climbed the mountain, but it was windy. And then we find out in the news he was single, he had no children, and he didn't leave a will. And then we find out 49% stake in this company stock and $40 billion to someone. And then here we have Longfellow Deeds, played by Adam Sandler, who was Preston's nephew. And then I think Chuck and Cecil find him, right? They managed to find him, and then they decide to take him back to New York. We hit Pleasure's All Mine, Kitty, or should I say Meow. So we have Babe Bennett, who's played by Winona Ryder. She's like this news presenter, but she is called Pam at some points when she tries to get a story off him. But then after, seeing, even though he's got all this money, he is a nice guy, but like he doesn't need the money really, he says. We have Chuck Cedar, who's played by Peter Gallagher. Cecil Anderson, who's played by Eric Avery. Murph is played by Peter Dante. We have Crazy Eyes, played by Steve Buscemi. There's John McEnroe in this film. Blake Clark, played by Buddy Ward. And then we have Kevin Clark, played by Brandon McHale. And then like other stuff which I'll go mention on later. We see Crazy Eyes being given a pizza with French fries and Oreos while he was in prison. Kevin Ward is also a quarterback, which I think he was working in that establishment, but Mr. Deeds let him go because of the way he was speaking to him or something. On a plane he was singing with a banana, Space Oddity. Emilio Lopez, who's played by John Turturro, he's this like butler, but he like moves around sneakily without anyone knowing. We have Ruben, who's played by JB Smoove, and then we hear Mr. Deeds say, "How's the elevator business treating you, Ruben?" And then it was like, oh, it's had its up and downs. He then gets to this like room where he like says something, it's like an echo, other people joined in. He wakes up and he sees this fountain thinking, oh, it's water, but instead it was a fountain of Hawaiian punch. And then the butler appeared again wanting to change his socks, but he was like, no, you don't have to, because he had this black foot which he got from the ice thing, and he like feels no pain there at all. So Babe and someone else, another news reporter, I don't know, they did a fake mug, and Babe decided to pretend to be Pam Dawson, this like Virgin Mary mother who's a nurse and lives in lives in Iowa. And then like they go for a dinner. Deeds saw someone having an anniversary, decided to give $20,000 to them, dancing on a table. Deed decides to hug people instead of shake their hands. He said someone like that invited them to the table looks like Mr. French. If I didn't know who this was, I had to look this up. From Family Affair, old series from the 70s, I think it was, and Sebastian Cabot, I think, played Mr. French. But the guy that he said he looked like was Kurt, played by Walter Williamson. Deeds knocked them out after because he was reading a poem to them, and they were like laughing. They weren't taking it seriously, so he decided to knock them out. Well, he said, "Oh, I would knock them out, but like you're here, so I wouldn't." And she said, "No, it's fine." And then Kurt said, "I think I just shat myself." John McEnroe then appeared. They did stuff together, like crazy stuff, like with egging cars. Deeds paid for the damage at the restaurant. They were throwing eggs. It was over the news. John McEnroe did this like big jump. Then the butler again, Emilio, he like teleported and then pulled the bird on Chuck. Deeds did this speech at the funeral of his uncle. He said, "Oh, I always open the coffin, whatever." He was still frozen, and then we hear, "That's priceless. You are a virgin. You a virgin." And then we hear Emilio say, "I like feet. I don't know why." Buddy then used his belt on Kevin because then Miss Deeds told him like, you know, he should watch his language, whatever, with the ladies. Deeds then was sliding down the stairs. Pam and Deeds went on a bike ride. And then I think I saw it was the same park they used for one of the scenes in Friends with Benefits, because I think that was filmed in New York and LA. But most of the time it was in New York. Deeds then saved someone and cats from a fire. But the news reporter, he's like editing the parts to make it bad for him, whatnot. He was then playing tennis with Chuck, and like kept hitting him. The ball boy was a reporter in disguise, and then he wanted to speak to Chuck about this. They Pam and Deeds went to Iowa. She was describing this house to him like with a red door and blue shutters, and it was an actual house there, but she was trying to make this disguise to him, whatnot. There was this boy choking, and she lied about being a nurse, but like managed to save him. He ended up losing a tooth there. Deeds made Pam a card with like this. It was like spaghetti and chicken, whatnot. He then kissed Deeds. She then kissed Deeds. There was this date in a basketball court. He practiced with Emilio. He was going to marry her. Deeds then found out the truth about Pam, or Babe, should we say now. He decided to then give the money to a charity. He then returned to his hometown, which then Babe returned as well. She was trying to find Deeds. She was then fighting Jan, who was like the owner of the pizzeria or something. She then fell into a pond. Deeds was like not falling for it, like where are the cameras, whatnot. Babe then showed that Emilio is like the rightful owner of the funds or something. When she like barged in and did a speech or something, then Deeds came to do a speech. Emilio then appeared in front of like the microphones when Chuck wasn't there. It was like, "You're fired," and he ended up giving $1 million or $1 billion, sorry, to Deeds. And then I think Deeds bought everyone Ferraris, but like before that, because he like writes poems, like I said, Hallmark, which he's been trying to get the cards onto, was wanting to buy one of their cards, the one that he wrote for Babe. I think the one with the spaghetti and the chicken, whatever. I'd say I would give this film 3 stars as well. Pretty funny as well, and good storyline. That is all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.